It's an honor to speak to such a full house. It's not a common experience when your topic is the War of 1812. Once, some very optimistic organizers in Philadelphia booked me into a room with 900 seats. And 40 people showed up and arranged themselves randomly through the The following comes from the start of The Internal Enemy. And that was a phrase that Southerners used to describe the slaves in their midst. And in wartime, they particularly feared that they would face a combination of an external enemy and an internal enemy. One night in October 1814, on the Virginia shore of the Potomac River, several young enslaved men stole a canoe and paddled across the river to Laidlow's Ferry on the Maryland shore. Abandoning the canoe, they took the larger ferry boat, for they needed a craft big enough to carry away 17 people. Returning to the Virginia shore, the men retrieved wives and children for a dash down the river to seek a British warship as their portal to freedom. In the morning, their masters discovered that their slaves were gone, and in the words of one witness, quote, had taken many articles out of Mr. Abraham Huey's dwelling house in the course of the night, and all their own articles and effects out of their own houses, end quote. Armed white men rowed a swift boat in pursuit down the river, but in vain, for the former slaves had reached the warship. 5.5 years later, the leader of the escape wrote a letter to his former master, Huey. In October of 1814, Bartlett Shanklin had been a prized blacksmith, 35 years old and worth $800, the most valuable of the runaways. In May 1820, he was thriving as a free man in Preston, a township near Halifax in Nova Scotia, and he wanted Huey to know it. And now I quote the letter. Sir, I take this opportunity of writing these lines to inform you how I am situated here. I have a shop and set of tools of my own and am doing very well. When I was with you, you treated me very ill. And for that reason, I take the liberty of informing you that I'm doing as well as you, if not better. When I was with you, I worked very hard, and you neither gave me money nor any satisfaction. But since I have been here, I am able to make gold and silver as well as you. The night that Coakley stopped me, he was very strong, but I showed him that subtlety was far preferable to strength, and brought away others with me who, thank God, are all doing well. So I remain, Bartlett Shanklin. P.S. My love to all my friends. I hope they are doing well. As a free man, Shanklin could at last make his own money. Enslaved people in Virginia were third and fourth generation Americans who knew the social value of $1 as a measure of a man's merit. Indeed, the runaway had become a better man than the master, who had treated him so very ill by keeping him down, for Shanklin's prosperity did not rely on enslaving others. Coakley was apparently a powerful man, perhaps an overseer, who tried to restrain Shanklin on the eve of the escape. But the clever blacksmith had outwitted the foe to lead family and friends to freedom. Slavery had taught the value and the ways of subtlety to the enslaved, who had to mask their knowledge and resistance. Rather than destroy the rebuking letter, Huey showed more greed than pride by submitting it as evidence in a bid for post-war compensation from the federal government. Huey's choice preserves Shanklin's words for you to hear tonight. Thank you.